soon as we graduated from college, we decided to hit the road and did a big 6-month road trip.
We can usually store about 2 weeks worth of food, so we can go about 2 weeks without ever having to come back into civilization, if you will.
And we've got our Guzzle H2O, which allows us to collect water from streams, rivers, lakes, whatever.
When COVID hit, all of our work kind of evaporated into thin air.
Hi, I'm Owen.
And I'm Mac, and welcome to our home on wheels. We have been on the road for 8.5 years, and over the course of that time, we have spanned an incredibly vast variety of vehicles. We have had both pop tops as well as high roof vehicles, and we have personally come to find that we really love pop tops because it gives you really great aerodynamics on the road while still having a ton of living space when you're at camp. And we also just love having the 4x4 capability of a truck to get us to all of the hard to reach places that we really like to go. In total, it takes 6 latches to unlatch the top, really takes no time at all. And in there, it's 6'4". Welcome inside of our home. So we are facing the back of the camper, the back of the truck. In previous vehicles for us, it felt like everybody had to be doing the same thing at the same time. If a meal was being made, everybody was making the meal. If everybody was working, that's what has to happen. But what's lovely about this is somebody can be sitting here getting work done, a meal can be made, somebody could still be laying in bed. I just think that it gives us a little bit of autonomy within our space, and it kind of gives it the illusion of feeling a lot bigger than it actually is. Back here serves so many purposes for us. It's our desk, it's our dining room, it's our office. This also becomes a bed, and underneath each of these bench seats is also storage space all the way down. These 2 bench seats hold a crazy amount of gear for us. We have 2 pack rafts under here, backpacking gear, climbing gear. This has allowed us to take things that were being stored outside of the vehicle in previous setups for us and been able to move it inside. So for us, we can comfortably sit 2 people on either side here of this dinette, and in some of the other versions, you can fit more than that, which will be lovely for us, but we love being a compact size. This is just perfect for us and our cat. This is our kitchen. For context, we're on the driver's side of our truck. Another reason why it is so nice to have the flatbed is all of this is living in one place. It feels very separated. We have a 2-burner stove here. We have a sink, a refrigerator, tons of storage for all of our kitchen supplies. We have a heater, a hot water heater, and all of it lives on this side. This is actually the biggest refrigerator we've ever had. So even though it's not the biggest refrigerator in the world, we do just fine. I would say the vast majority of our meals are eaten at home. Because we have an incredibly capable truck, we spend most of our time very remote. We are fully self-sustaining as far as power is concerned, and even as of this year, water, depending on our environment that we're in. So we have the ability to stay out for a long period of time, and if we are thinking ahead, we can usually store about 2 weeks worth of food, so we can go about 2 weeks without ever having to come back into civilization, if you will. Another thing that we love about having kind of like a standing height surface here is that one of us can be working at the dinette in the office, and then another person can be standing here and working. When you're in such a tiny space and you work from home, it is nice to have the option to stand and work if you want.
Mac and I met in college, and Mac's parents frequently talked about a road trip they took right after they graduated from college, and it was really informative to them and really a huge landmark in their life. That inspired me quite a bit, so as soon as we graduated from college, we decided to do the exact same thing and hit the road and did a big 6-month road trip. Initially, we were looking for just a new place to live, but what we realized is we actually loved the movement and traveling around way more than we thought we would. That's kind of snowballed into where we are now. 8 years later, we're still going and we still love it.
Over the course of 8.5 years, our careers have greatly changed. Owen was and still is a motion graphics designer, and I was a graphic designer and illustrator. But when COVID hit, all of our work kind of evaporated into thin air, and it kind of gave us the opportunity to step back and think about what we really wanted. And that summer, we pooled our resources with a few other couples who are also living on the road, and we decided to film it. After that summer, we realized that we had all of this footage that we could make something with, and we were able to get funding to create a series, and it was called Summer Adrift. And the rest is history. We have been filmmakers ever since. It's been really great to be able to capture all the incredible places that we have the distinct privilege of seeing. Now facing the front of the truck is our bed. So when the top is down, it just looks like this skinny little sliver sticking over our cab. But when the top is up, it is our bed. So even though the space over our bed is relatively small, we have never had any issues with it. And in a lot of our vehicles, we had even less space over our bed. So it doesn't seem to really bother us at all. In fact, I've come to find that I even sleep better in a small space. It just kind of feels cozy, you know? Underneath, we have a ton of storage, which is huge. All of our clothes are in here, in addition to a bunch of like work-related stuff, games, important things like Catan, you know, that's important for the road. Towards the front of the camper and towards the back, we have these black panels. That's what kind of assists in the pop-up process. It's quite easy, and this little bar just kind of pushes it, locks it into place, and then it can be snapped out of the way. Here on the walls of the camper, of the pop top, is like the soft side part. The exterior is like a plasticized material, fully waterproof. Then we have a blackout layer, which just blocks the light. We have a clear layer, so it can be open but still protect us from the elements. We have a screen, and then we have the thermal pack, which is the one that faces the inside, and it's this quilted portion. And that just keeps us insulated from both heat and cold, and it does make a significant difference. We do spend plenty of time in sub-freezing temperatures, and we do really well in here with that and our heater. Our heater is a propane heater. It runs off of the same propane that goes to our stove. We have two 10-pound tanks, and they last us kind of forever. That same heater also runs our tankless on-demand hot water heater.
The corner here in the camper is kind of the brains of everything. Underneath me, there's all of our power management and a 20-gallon water tank, which we can fill from city water or from creeks, streams, lakes, whatever. We'll get to that a little bit later. Inside here, we have 405 amp hours of lithium batteries. Powering all of our batteries, we have a 180 watt rigid solar panel on the roof. We also have a 240 watt foldable panel that we deploy out when we need it. We also have alternator charging from our Red Arc Manager 30. So the Red Vision here is kind of the interface that gives us all the information we need. It gives us our solar readouts, our battery health, the amount of water we have. We can also control our lights and most of our appliances through this as well. We also can control it through our phone, which is super convenient. So we can turn on lights if we get to camp after dark and just go ahead and turn them on so we can see when we hop out of the car. And one of the nicest things that we have connected to this is our Starlink, which has been converted to 12 volt and mounted to our roof. So we can just turn on Starlink with the push of a button without having to put out any wires or anything like that. And by converting it to 12 volt, it uses roughly 50% of the power that it did before. Here we have some extra pouches for storage that we keep our cords, chargers, various things like that. And in this cabinet here that pops up is our spice cabinet and assorted pantry items. We travel with our cat, and because of that, she needs a litter box. So where the optional toilet for this camper would have gone is actually where her litter box is. So she has a bathroom, we do not. I guess in an emergency situation, we could use it, but it's never come to that, thankfully. For us, we have a shovel, and that is our primary toilet. We will take a hike and find a nice quiet spot, and that's where we'll go. We also use biodegradable cat litter, we use wood pellets, and so when we dig our own cat holes, we can also bury some of hers too. One of the big appeals to life on the road is that the cost of living is super cheap. So we hit the road as a way to save money initially too. And I would say that our monthly costs are usually somewhere between $1,000 and $2,000. I think our biggest expenses are gas, car insurance,
food, Starlink.
In that order, probably. We are very fortunate to partner with a lot of brands on the build of this truck. I would put the value somewhere around $200,000, but we don't have an exact cost breakdown. Over here on the driver's side of the truck is most of the utility side. In this first storage box, we have some water equipment. So we've got hoses, filtration, and we've got our Guzzle H2O, which allows us to collect water from streams, rivers, lakes, whatever. It's got a carbon block in it, as well as LED UV filtration. It's got a built-in water pump as well, so we can take it out to some streams and pump it all the way into the fill, which is right here on this side of the truck. Continuing down the line, we've got our heater and hot water heater. We've also got a plug for shore power. We've got an outlet for an outdoor shower right here. In this last storage box here, we've got some of our tools. And right here on the end, we've got an input for our extra solar panel.
Here at the back of the truck are some of my favorite things about our camper, and they're very easy to overlook. And the first being this Australian flatbed has this incredible massive drawer. And back here, it's a lot of outdoor gear, things that we use around camp, tripods, that type of stuff. We were able to install all of our parking monitors and sensors and backup camera, which is under here. We have max tracks, which are for if we get stuck in the sand. And then we have 2 bags that we use, one for trash and one for recycling, always trying to get that stuff to where it belongs. Here at the front of the truck, we have some of our recovery gear. Because we spend so much time in really remote places, we often go long periods of time without seeing anyone. It's important that we can be self-reliant. So in our front bumper, we have a winch, we have plenty of lights, we have an upgraded brake system to accommodate for the weight that we carry all of the time. And then in our flatbed, we have an additional 20 gallons of water. The little spigot to access that is here. In this box, we have an air compressor, which allows us to both air down and air back up when we get on rough terrain. Just makes the drive a little bit smoother and also protects our tires. This is where our propane tanks live. We have a Fiamma awning, some exterior lights. This is the door to our camper. The step, very minimal. We didn't want to have to carry anything huge. And then in this last storage box is just kind of where we carry our camp chairs. The world is a big and a beautiful place, and you should get out and you should get to know it. And I know that not everybody has the opportunity or desire even to live the way that we do, but I just want to be able to give the feeling away that we have experienced for so long. And I just want people to approach the world with more openness.
I think a really common theme in our work is just that personal and emotional growth that comes with travel and seeing new places and new things and meeting new people. I feel like it puts you in uncomfortable situations, but once you get past that and get comfortable with being uncomfortable, it really does like open the door for so many cool and interesting interactions.
Thank you so much for enjoying the tour of our Home on Wheels office, you know, all the things. If you're interested in following our journey or our work, you can find us at Bound for Nowhere on Instagram, YouTube, kind of all the places, I guess, on the internet, including our website. All right, thank you. And I think we'll just catch you down the road.